earthquake, which nobody seems to quite agree on the magnitude, an 8.9 or 9.0, that's a once in 1,000 years size earthquake. So it's not really completely crazy that they didn't consider that size of an earthquake. They did actually plan for quakes of 8.3 or 8.4, and it probably would have survived that. So you could argue, well, they shouldn't have sited those reactors there. They should have kept it away from the water, but they thought that was so unlikely. And then even if it does happen, what actually is the outcome? A lot of people, I think, are catastrophizing about this. It is a bad thing, but and it hasn't finished playing out yet. But you have to also compare how many people are killed by other energy sources on a daily basis, from emissions, also from things like dam bursts. If you look up the numbers on number of people killed, especially in places like India and China from dams bursting, it's staggering. It's a lot more than even this incident at the worst is going to do. Even one incident can kill tens of thousands of people, over 100,000 people for the worst dam bursts. The mutagens and carcinogens spewed into the atmosphere by fossil fuels are more invisible because they're spread out. They're not focused in one place where you can put it on the news and take photos and go over it with helicopters. But it doesn't mean it's not killing people. So you have to take all that into account. I would say that if people had applied the proactionary principle, that incorporates the best parts of the precautionary principle. It doesn't say go ahead and do whatever you feel like doing. It says think very carefully and critically here. What options do you have? That would include siting options, what kind of power station, whether to build it at all. It requires you to take all those considerations into account. So it doesn't dismiss caution. And I would say that people opposing nuclear power because of this doesn't make a lot of sense, because you don't get that kind of, well, even in Japan, you don't get earthquakes that powerful usually, very rarely. But in other parts of the world, it can be very stable. Here in Arizona, we don't have earthquakes. And that's one reason that the Alcor Foundation moved here. And also, you have to take into account that these reactors are 40 years old. They were actually designed back in